Let's start off with the currency and where it's trading at this stage, just over that 155 Naira mark. Now, looking at a paper that Renaissance Capital put out saying that there's a 40% chance that we'll see the Naira being devalued in 2012. We have a new finance ministry and she'll have to sit down, finance minister, she'll have to sit down with the Nigerian central bank governor now and look at their target for the exchange rate for 2012. What are your thoughts on the defense of the currency going forward as we have expectations of it being devalued further in next year?
Well, good morning, Samantha. Well, when you talk about this currency market, it's becoming an issue here in Nigeria because sometimes when you look at what we're having, you know, there is the parallel currency market. The difference in when you get from the official exchange rate and to what you get in the other side is very, very wide. So, and I think about the valuing of the Naira. It is an area that they've tried to talk about sometime, but the CBN governor has always come out to say there is nothing that suggests that the Naira should be devalued. And if they are coming now, if the current finance minister is trying to sit down with them now to begin to talk about the value of the Naira, it looks very strange because for an economy that is, you said is growing, for an economy that you put the benchmark for oil at about $60 and oil is selling above $100, and the economy that is kicking and going on well. And then you see the problem is that Nigeria is driven mostly by export. We are doing a lot of importation into the country, not a lot of exportation. So when you look at that, most of Nigerian goods that comes into the country are almost going to the demand for foreign currency to be able to bring this good. So when you look at that, unless there is a different environment whereby we look inward and we begin to do a lot of some of this production here in Nigeria, and not to forget that any moment from now, there might be the deregulation of the petroleum sector. That again may affect the value of the Naira.
Let's take the conversation to the equity market then, falling back once again on Friday to just over 1% in the red. There appears to be many factors holding the bourse back. We've got that September recapitalization deadline, also uncertainty around a monetary policy committee direction when it comes to interest rates going forward. We still need to see the August inflation data. What are your thoughts on the market's performance for this week, and why do you see the market being underperforming in the past 2 months?
Yes, Samantha, you have to look at a lot of factors that is affecting the market at the moment. One of those major factors is the liquidity factor that we have in the market. There's no so much liquidity in the hands of investors, and that is one. Then you look at the monetary policy of the CBN that has been on for the past 3 months, have not been favorable to the stock market especially. And again, when you look at this, some of these companies have not really come out with the earnings, then you begin to see why the market is down. Then don't forget that CBN is telling us by September 30, then we'll really know whether some of these banks will be standing on their own, though there have been an agreement of merger acquisition. But the CBN still talks the other way around that any of these merger and acquisition that have problem with the shareholder, the bank will be nationalized. So investors are being careful, and investors are trying to learn from the mistake of the last time, whereby, you know, at that time, the world economy was crumbling, and the Nigerian economy, stock market also started crumbling at the same time. And then they were saying Nigeria was immune to it. I think this factor is making a lot of people scared, and they are being skeptical that the confidence level is low. But when you look at going forward, you begin to look at some of all the equities at the moment. They are selling at a bargain price because some of them are really doing very well.
If you say that, Muktar, if you say that there's some stocks that are really undervalued in the market at this stage, looking at this week specifically, which stocks do you see as most likely poised for positive price movements?
I think one should not get his eyes off Access Bank, Owando, and GTB and First Bank. For me, those are the grossly unvalued stock at the moment. If you look at their PA ratio compared to their earnings per share, these are stocks that at the end of the year, like Owando that is selling below 30 Naira, is a stock that should be able to pay up to 3 to 4 Naira at the year end. You look at First Bank, will be able to pay up to 1 Naira. You look at an Access Bank that is selling for below 6 Naira that have been able to pay 20 kobo interim dividends, and going forward, we know that this bank should be able to pay up to 70 or 80 kobo at the year end. Then you look at GTB also. So when you look going forward, you see that these stocks are stuck with with good fundamentals and also good value for investors that are ready to take position on them at the moment.
So GT Bank, First Bank and Access in the banking sector and Oando are your stock picks for the week. Thanks very much for your insight this morning. Muktar Mohammed, analyst at Assar Investments, joining us from the studios over there in Lagos.